Okay, listen. Klay Thompson just got handed a public relationship autopsy on national television. And it did not come from a blogger. It did not come from a podcaster with a ring light and a dream. It came from Tristan Thompson. Yes, that Tristan Thompson. The man whose relationship history is basically a Wikipedia article with a warning label at the top. That Tristan Thompson just sat across from Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay, looked directly into the camera, and started dispensing wisdom about how a man should behave after a very loud, very messy, very public breakup with a celebrity woman. And I need everybody in the back to hear me clearly. The internet did not know whether to laugh, cry, or open a group chat and start screenshotting immediately. Because of all the people on planet Earth who could have been asked, of all the retired athletes with a microphone, of all the men who have ever loved a famous woman and watched it detonate in public, Shannon Sharpe picked Tristan. And Tristan said yes. And what came out of Tristan Thompson's mouth is the reason we are here today. Because Tristan Thompson did not just give advice. Tristan Thompson accidentally revealed the entire unspoken rulebook that professional athletes have been passing around like a cheat sheet for the last decade, and nobody, and I mean nobody, was supposed to say it out loud. But Tristan said it. Tristan said the quiet part into a boom mic. And now we have to talk about it, because what Tristan Thompson told Klay Thompson to do is not romantic. It is not noble. It is not gentlemanly. Tristan Thompson essentially told Klay Thompson to zip it, sit down, cast a fishing rod, and let Megan Thee Stallion carry the entire narrative on her back while the rest of the world watches. This is not a breakup story. This is a strategy leak. And Tristan Thompson just handed us the blueprint. Let us rewind for the people who have been living under a rock. Klay Thompson, 4-time NBA champion, Splash brother, quiet legend. The guy who let his jumper do all the talking for a decade, ended up in a relationship with Megan Thee Stallion. And for a minute, the internet loved it. Megan Thee Stallion was thriving, Klay Thompson was smiling in courtside photos, and everybody said this looks healthy, this looks grown, this looks like a woman who has been through hell finally getting a soft landing. And then the wheels came off. Publicly. Loudly. In the middle of the timeline. And suddenly Megan Thee Stallion was posting, and the internet was speculating, and Klay Thompson was doing what Klay Thompson has always done, which is absolutely nothing. Klay Thompson did not tweet. Klay Thompson did not post a note. Klay Thompson did not go on a podcast. Klay Thompson went fishing. Literally. Klay Thompson picked up a rod, drove to a body of water, and vanished from the discourse like a ghost with gills. And the internet had questions. The biggest one was simple. Is Klay Thompson staying silent because Klay Thompson is a gentleman? Or is Klay Thompson staying silent because Klay Thompson knows something the timeline does not know yet? That has always been the question. And Tristan Thompson just answered it in a way that makes my skin crawl. Because when Shannon Sharpe asked Tristan Thompson, point blank, what advice would you give Klay Thompson about this public breakup? Tristan Thompson did not hesitate. Tristan Thompson said, and I want you to listen to the exact wiring of this sentence. Tristan Thompson said the worst thing Klay Thompson could do is feed into the beast. Feed into the beast. Tristan Thompson called public conversation a beast. Tristan Thompson framed accountability as a monster with teeth. Tristan Thompson looked at the entire cultural conversation happening around Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson and reduced it to a wild animal that a man simply refuses to feed. And then Tristan Thompson doubled down. Tristan Thompson said, and honestly, as a man, keep your mouth quiet. Because I never went out there and defended myself. Because it is just not what we do. Read that again slowly. That is not relationship advice. That is a confession. That is a leaked memo from the boys' locker room. That is Tristan Thompson admitting, on camera, that there is an entire code of silence that famous athlete men have agreed to follow when their private life becomes public. And Tristan Thompson is not describing this code with shame. Tristan Thompson is describing it with pride. Tristan Thompson is telling Klay Thompson, welcome to the club, brother. Here is how we do this. I am not saying Klay Thompson has done anything wrong. Klay Thompson has every right to sit in a boat for the rest of Klay Thompson's natural life. What I am saying is that the advice Tristan Thompson gave Klay Thompson is coming from a man whose own history is a cautionary tale wearing a Cavs jersey. This is Tristan Thompson. The same Tristan Thompson who, every time a new bombshell dropped, went dark, went quiet, went ghost, and let the women in Tristan Thompson's life do the emotional labor of narrating the disaster. That silence was not accidental. That silence was strategic. And Tristan Thompson just told the entire internet, on Shannon Sharpe's couch, that the strategy works. Because Tristan Thompson is not offering Klay Thompson a moral compass. Tristan Thompson is offering Klay Thompson a survival guide. And there is a very big difference between those two things, and nobody on that couch pointed it out. Now I need you to notice something else Tristan Thompson said, because this is the part that made my jaw hit the floor. Tristan Thompson said, if she wants to say something, let her do whatever she wants to do. Let her. As if the woman speaking is a child throwing a tantrum, and the mature, evolved thing to do is stand at a distance and permit the tantrum to run its course. Do you hear how that sentence is built? That sentence is not neutral. That sentence is not respectful. That sentence positions the man as the calm, silent, dignified adult, and positions the woman as the noisy, emotional, undignified problem a man simply endures. And Tristan Thompson did not stumble into that sentence. Tristan Thompson did not misspeak. This is a rehearsed philosophy. This is a curated worldview. And Tristan Thompson served it to Klay Thompson on live television like it was gospel. Meanwhile, Megan Thee Stallion has been through more public trauma than any pop culture figure of the last 5 years. Megan Thee Stallion has been shot. Megan Thee Stallion has been dragged through court. Megan Thee Stallion has been mocked and disrespected. And now the world is being told, by Tristan Thompson of all people, that the correct response to whatever Megan Thee Stallion has to say is for Klay Thompson to sit in a boat and pretend the ocean is more interesting. Let me tell you why this matters. Because Shannon Sharpe did not push back. Shannon Sharpe did not ask a follow-up question. Shannon Sharpe let it slide. Shannon Sharpe let Tristan Thompson deliver an entire manifesto about how men handle famous exes. And the follow-up was essentially, so what advice would you give NBA players who date celebrities? And Tristan Thompson had that answer locked, loaded, and buttered. Tristan Thompson said, cherish and protect that, because if you allow people to have access, now you give your whole life. Sounds beautiful, right? Sounds mature. Except when Tristan Thompson says protect the relationship by keeping it private. What Tristan Thompson actually means is protect yourself from accountability by keeping the woman off the record. Privacy in a relationship is a two-way agreement. Silence is what one person weaponizes when the other person tries to tell the truth. And Tristan Thompson is not describing privacy. Tristan Thompson is describing silence. Tristan Thompson is teaching an entire generation of young athletes that the smart move is to date in the dark, love in the dark, and if it blows up, disappear into the dark. And the woman can scream into a microphone all the woman wants, but as long as the man says nothing, the man wins by default. That is not romance. That is a courtroom strategy dressed up in relationship advice. And here is the layer nobody is talking about. Watch what Tristan Thompson does next. Because immediately after Tristan Thompson finishes the segment about Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion, Shannon Sharpe pivots to Tristan Thompson's next chapter. Shannon Sharpe asks Tristan Thompson what is next, and Tristan Thompson launches into a monologue about venture finance, robotics companies going public on Nasdaq, and building a legacy like Shaq and Magic Johnson. Tristan Thompson pivots from breakup advice into a full pitch deck. In the same breath. In the same sit-down. Do you understand how strategic that is? Tristan Thompson used a conversation about Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion as a springboard to rehabilitate the Tristan Thompson brand. Tristan Thompson stepped onto Club Shay carrying the reputation of a serial cheater, and stepped off carrying the reputation of a wise elder statesman advising the next generation while quietly closing venture deals. That was not a spontaneous conversation. That was a rebrand campaign wearing a hoodie. And the currency Tristan Thompson used to buy that rebrand was Klay Thompson's breakup. Tristan Thompson traded on Klay Thompson's pain to sell the world a new version of Tristan Thompson. And the wildest part is that it worked. Watch the very same audience that used to roast Tristan Thompson start typing, Tristan Thompson actually has a point. That is the play. That is always the play. And I want to zoom in closer, because there is a moment in that clip I keep replaying. When Tristan Thompson says, I have known Klay for a long time, and Klay is living Klay's life. Klay wants to go fishing and enjoy it, and as Klay should. There is a warmth to that sentence. There is a brotherhood to that sentence. There is a code being reinforced in that sentence. Tristan Thompson is not just giving Klay Thompson advice. Tristan Thompson is publicly enrolling Klay Thompson in a club. A club with a very short guest list and a very long history of expensive lawyers. And once Klay Thompson is enrolled, whether Klay Thompson signed up or not, Klay Thompson is now associated with it. Because Tristan Thompson said it out loud on Shannon Sharpe's platform, with millions watching. And now every time somebody Googles Klay Thompson breakup, this clip is going to come up. Tristan Thompson tied Klay Thompson's silence to the exact same brand of silence Tristan Thompson has been perfecting for years. And Klay Thompson, sitting in a boat, has no idea Klay Thompson just got branded on national television. Now let us pivot to Megan Thee Stallion, because I refuse to sit here and let Megan Thee Stallion be treated like a footnote in Tristan Thompson's audition tape for redemption. Megan Thee Stallion did not ask for this. Megan Thee Stallion did not go on Shannon Sharpe's show. Megan Thee Stallion did not sit on that couch and campaign for anybody's sympathy. And yet Megan Thee Stallion is the one being framed quietly, almost politely, as the noisy one, the one who might say something, the one Klay Thompson needs to be protected from. And that framing is what I want to interrupt right now. Every time a famous woman goes through a public breakup, the internet has a script ready. The script says the woman is dramatic, the woman is airing dirty laundry, the woman is doing too much. And the man, no matter how loud the man was during the honeymoon phase, is suddenly celebrated for going quiet. As if silence is a personality trait. As if silence is a moral virtue. As if silence is not, in many cases, the loudest confession a person can make. And Tristan Thompson just rebranded silence as strength on the biggest platform available. Which means the next time a young woman finds herself dating an NBA player, and that relationship implodes, and the young woman tries to tell the truth, guess what the young woman is going to hear? She's going to hear, be more like Klay Thompson, be mature, stop feeding the beast. And that phrase was minted on Shannon Sharpe's couch by Tristan Thompson. And it is going to echo for years. And here is where I need to bring in the receipts. Tristan Thompson also said, when it comes to dating a celebrity, especially early, cherish and protect that, because if you allow people to have access, what do you have to yourself? On the surface, that sounds like a healthy boundary. Underneath, it is a specific instruction. Do not post the woman. Do not confirm the relationship. Do not sit on podcasts and talk about the woman. Do not go on record about the woman. Because the moment you go on record, the woman goes on record too. And if the woman goes on record, the woman has receipts. And if the woman has receipts, the man is cooked. That is the actual math. That is the actual game. And Tristan Thompson framed it as protecting love, when in reality Tristan Thompson was outlining the exact recipe for plausible deniability. Keep the woman off the internet. Keep the relationship off the record. And if it collapses, shrug and say we were never really together like that. That is not chivalry. That is a legal shield. And an entire generation of professional athletes just got the masterclass, for free, on a podcast, with a sponsorship read in the middle. And I want to talk about Shannon Sharpe for a second, because Shannon Sharpe is not innocent in this. Shannon Sharpe is the same Shannon Sharpe who has had a very public year of Shannon Sharpe's own reckoning. And what is fascinating is that when Shannon Sharpe was in the middle of Shannon Sharpe's own storm, Shannon Sharpe did the exact opposite of what Tristan Thompson is preaching. Shannon Sharpe spoke. Shannon Sharpe went on record. Shannon Sharpe issued statements. So there is a delicious irony in Shannon Sharpe nodding along while Tristan Thompson explains that a real man never defends himself. Because Shannon Sharpe defended Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe is still working, still podcasting, still selling out arenas. So which advice do we take? Do we take the advice of the man who spoke, or the advice of the man who ghosted? That is the tension nobody on that couch wanted to name. But it is sitting right there in the middle of the room, like an elephant with a lavalier mic clipped to its ear. And let us talk about Klay Thompson, because Klay Thompson is a very specific kind of celebrity. Klay Thompson has never wanted the spotlight. Klay Thompson does not do podcasts. Klay Thompson does not chase headlines. Klay Thompson has spent an entire career being the second most famous person on Klay Thompson's own team on purpose. So of course Klay Thompson is going fishing. That is who Klay Thompson has always been. But on the other hand, Klay Thompson dated a woman whose entire brand is being loud, unapologetic, visible. Klay Thompson signed up for that. Klay Thompson knew who Megan Thee Stallion was. Megan Thee Stallion did not become famous last week. So the idea that Klay Thompson is now blindsided, or in need of Tristan Thompson's playbook, because a public relationship with a public artist got public, is a little disingenuous. Klay Thompson got exactly what a relationship with a global superstar looks like when it does not work out. Klay Thompson dated the storm. Klay Thompson does not get to be surprised by the rain. And then there is the deeper undercurrent nobody is naming out loud. Tristan Thompson's advice only works for the person who has something to hide. Think about it. If Klay Thompson has genuinely done nothing wrong, if Klay Thompson has been kind, honest, loyal, respectful, then Klay Thompson has zero reason to fear anything Megan Thee Stallion says. A truthful man is not afraid of a microphone. A truthful man walks into the light. A truthful man says, here is my side, and if the woman disputes it, cool, let the receipts decide. The only person who benefits from silence is the person whose truth cannot survive daylight. So when Tristan Thompson says the smart move is to say nothing, Tristan Thompson is not describing the smart move for an innocent man. Tristan Thompson is describing the smart move for a man who cannot afford a full audit. And I am not saying Klay Thompson is that man. I am saying Tristan Thompson is teaching every man to behave like that man, whether the man is guilty or not. The entire strategy collapses innocence and guilt into one identical response. Silence. And silence, as a universal answer, is how the guilty get to hide inside the same shape as the innocent. That is the trick. That is the whole trick. And now let us zoom all the way out. What we watched on Club Shay is a case study in how modern celebrity men are being trained, in public on camera, to survive the age of social media. Every generation of famous men gets a survival guide from the previous generation. And the current playbook is being written live by men like Tristan Thompson, who have already been through the fire and figured out which behaviors keep the checks coming and which behaviors get the endorsements pulled. And the current playbook has one rule underlined in red. Never speak. Never explain. Never defend. Let the woman burn out on her own. Wait it out. Come back in 6 months with a robotics company and a NASDAQ listing, and act like none of it ever happened. That is the strategy. And Tristan Thompson just recited it on Shannon Sharpe's couch, like it was a nursery rhyme. And most of the internet nodded along. But not this corner. Because we are going to name it. Tristan Thompson did not give Klay Thompson advice. Tristan Thompson gave Klay Thompson cover. Tristan Thompson did not offer Klay Thompson wisdom. Tristan Thompson offered Klay Thompson camouflage. And the wildest part is that Klay Thompson never asked for it. Klay Thompson was minding Klay Thompson's business on a boat. Tristan Thompson volunteered, unprompted, to be Klay Thompson's PR consultant on live television. Tristan Thompson appointed Tristan Thompson as the honorary attorney for a client who never retained Tristan Thompson. And now the ruling in the court of public opinion is being handed down in Tristan Thompson's voice, using Tristan Thompson's playbook, with Klay Thompson's face on the file. So where does that leave us? If a man tells you the right way to handle a public breakup is to say nothing, ask yourself who benefits from your silence. If a man tells you a woman speaking is a beast being fed, ask yourself why the woman's mouth is the animal in that sentence and not the man's actions. If a man tells you protecting love means never confirming love exists, ask yourself whether the man is protecting the love or protecting an exit. Because Tristan Thompson answered all of those questions live on Shannon Sharpe's show. Tristan Thompson used the disappearance to launch a venture fund. Tristan Thompson used the silence to build a rebrand. Tristan Thompson used Klay Thompson's private life as a case study to sell a new version of Tristan Thompson. So the next time somebody says Klay Thompson is being classy by staying silent, remember who taught the class. Then decide whether silence is really maturity, or whether silence is just a man who learned microphones cost money and boats are cheaper. Let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me if Klay Thompson should have said something. Tell me if Megan Thee Stallion has been treated fairly. Tell me if Tristan Thompson is the last person who should be handing out relationship advice. Hit subscribe. Share this with the group chat. And come back, because when Megan Thee Stallion finally speaks, we are going to break down every single word. Talk soon, everybody.